like how you're kind of embodying Steiner's philosophy of integrating intuition and reason, which was kind of really at the foundation of his philosophy. How would you say the role of intuition plays in, just to narrow it down, in astrology itself, in terms of reading a chart, for example, or in any other way that you might have to offer?
Thank you. That's a great question. And it's something I go a little bit more in depth with in the second installment that is coming out in Star Wisdom, where I actually introduce this idea of threefold indeterminacy. So Cage kind of coined the term chance operations or indeterminacy for these practices that link, musical notes to various systems of chance. But there's actually different types of indeterminacy. Steiner talks a lot about the three faculties, the three higher faculties: inspiration, imagination, and intuition. I can't really think about intuition without also thinking about imagination and inspiration and how they differ.
Yeah.
And so what I mean by that is, going back to an elemental idea, imagination is very linked to the water element, to our etheric body, our life body. And so in imagination, we're kind of, it's a feeling, kind of a feeling experience, our feeling body. Inspiration, we even hear it in the word, right? To inspire is really connected to respiration, to breath. And so it's an air element experience. So to feel inspired is to actually be really connected to our animal nature, to the air element, to the social nature. So a lot of us feel this inspiration from social connections. And then intuition, ultimately, Steiner would link this to the fire element. And the fire element corresponds to our humanness, actually. What he calls the ego, and he means that in a very different sense from what people talk about as the ego in kind of popular culture. He means the healthy ego, like the capacity for us to make correct decisions and to act independently of what our society wants us to act, in a given moment, to have free will, to know ourselves. That's the ego, to have a healthy ego, a healthy sense of self. So intuition, I think oftentimes people think about it actually more as I think about imagination. They kind of think of intuition as this watery experience of like, well, I just tapped into my feelings. But I actually feel that intuition comes from this unity of the imagination, the feeling realm, the inspiration, which we could say is the thinking realm. And intuition is the capacity to then will or to act with, good, well-reasoned ideas and good, felt feeling. And so for me, when I'm intuiting, it's not an out of ego experience. It's not tapping into someone beyond me. It's actually knowing that I have a framework, and it might be indeterminacy. It might be, in the case of my music, for example, I'm able to perform intuitively because I have this structure that allows me to actually kind of get beyond my likes and dislikes, my first instincts, all of that. And that's, I think, why Tudor and Cage were very drawn to indeterminacy, because it allows you to be surprised and it kind of buffers you from just doing your first instinct.